some crazy videos?
Trying to make sure that we get the proper sound, because if I do it the other way...
I was trying to tell Jerry, I said, why don't we just get Spectrum to come in and bring us our own line, just strictly for the live stream?
Yeah.
Will that work?
We're trying to make sure we get the proper sound. Yeah, see? If I do it the other way...
Small announcement, we will be having a film crew in here today. So if you do not want your
time, we would like to bring up our pastor, Reverend Dr. Lewis Gates.
Morning, everyone. Just a little note. Remember, today we have a film crew here. You can see them wandering around. If you do not want to be on film, sit over here in this part of the building. We do have a blessing bowl in the back, so if you're looking for putting a blessing in that bowl sometime here in the future when it starts to get full, we will have a burning bowl ceremony out in front of the church. So a lot of events coming up. We always need volunteers, so come out, volunteer, help us, and uplift the organization. We want to thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Lewis Gates. At this time, please rise as you're able for the invocation. Mother, Father God, we come together today with gratitude and praise. You are the source of all knowledge and inspiration. During times of uncertainty, bless us with the sense of unity, hope, healing, and peace. Touch our hearts with wisdom and inspiration and love as we share in today's message. Amen. And please remain standing for our first hymn.
170. Tell me of a home far beyond the sky. Tell me of a home far away. Oh, in a home where no storm clouds rise. Oh, tell me of an unclouded day. Oh, the state. Oh, the land of an unclouded day. Oh, tell me of a home where no storm clouds rise. Oh, tell me of an unclouded day. Oh, tell me of a home where my friends have gone. Oh, tell me of that land far away, where the tree of life in eternal bloom stands fragrance through the unclouded day. Oh, the land of cloudless day. Oh, the land of an unclouded day. Oh, then tell me of a home where no storm clouds rise. Oh, then tell me of an unclouded day.
All right. I'm not sure we're ready to take that on the road.
Yeah.
But it's okay. We'll get better, right? All right. Please be seated. Yes. We're going to get this together. All right. Located on the handout of our Declaration of Principles. Please join with me in reciting these principles together. We believe in infinite intelligence. We believe that the phenomena of nature, both physical and spiritual, are the expression of infinite intelligence. We affirm that a correct understanding of such expression and living in accordance therewith constitute true religion. We affirm that the existence and personal identity of the individual continue after the change called death. We affirm that communication with the so-called dead is a fact, scientifically proven by the phenomena of spiritualism. We believe that the highest morality is contained in the Golden Rule. Whatsoever ye would that others should do unto you, do ye also unto them. We affirm the moral responsibility of the individual and that he makes his own happiness or unhappiness as he obeys or disobeys nature's physical and spiritual laws. We affirm that the doorway to reformation is never closed against any human soul here or hereafter. We affirm that the precepts of prophecy and healing contained in the Bible are divine attributes proven through mediumship. Okay, and if you would please go to the handout and recite the healing prayer. I ask this great unseen healing force to remove all obstructions from my mind and body and to restore me to perfect health. I ask this in all sincerity and honesty, and I will do my part. I ask this great unseen healing force to help both present and absent ones who are in need of help and to restore them to perfect health. I put my trust in the love and the power of God. Now we will join a guided meditation. And we would like to ask that all who are in need of healing to either go to one side, either side of the room, or actually this side of the room, while we do our meditation. To begin, please position yourself as comfortably as you can, shifting your weight so that you're allowing your body to be fully supported with your head, your neck, and spine aligned. And taking in a couple of deep, cleansing breaths, inhaling as comfortably as you can, sending the warm energy of your breath to any part of your body that is more tense or tight, releasing the discomfort with the exhale so that you can feel your breath going to all of the tight, tense places, loosening and softening each of these areas. And then gathering up the tension and breathing it out so that more and more you feel comfortable and relaxed and easy, watching the cleansing action of your breath and any unwelcoming thoughts or feelings that you have. Those two are sent out with the breath so that inside you can feel quiet and still. And now imagining a place, inside or outdoors, where you feel safe and peaceful and easy. A place that's either make-believe or real. A place from your past or somewhere that you've always wanted to go. It doesn't matter, just so that it's a place good and safe and peaceful. And allowing the place to become real to you, looking around, taking the place in with your eyes, enjoying the colors, the scenery, appreciating every detail with your eyes, looking over to your right and to your left. And listening to the sounds of the place. The music of moving wind or water, birds or crickets, soft night sounds, perhaps the steady thumping of rain on the roof. It does not matter, just so that your ears can enjoy the sounds of your place. This place that is so safe and peaceful. And feeling whatever you are sitting against, or perhaps feeling the quality of the ground beneath your feet, whether it's sand or pine needles or grass, or you might be in a cozy armchair or sitting on a nice warm rug. So, feeling waves of the sun around you with warmth and healing. And feeling the air on your skin, either brisk and breezy or soft and still, crisp or dry. Or perhaps you are indoors, feeling the warmth of a cozy fire on your face and hands. It doesn't matter, just so that you're enjoying this feeling of the place on your skin. Smelling its rich fragrance, whether it is soft or full scent of flowers, or the sharpness of sea salt, air, sweet meadow grass, or the pungent smell of peat moss in the forest. As you become more and more attuned to the safety and the beauty of this place, feeling thankful and happy to be there, you begin to feel a kind of tingling, a pleasant, energizing something in the air all around. Something that contains excitement and a sense that something wonderful is about to happen. As you look out in front of you, begin to discern that there is a transparent screen, shimmering, getting more and more opaque and solid as you look into it. And as you watch the screen with kind of peaceful curiosity, you gradually become aware as a form begins to appear, becoming more and more defined, and you realize that this is a form of a very special someone. Perhaps it is a someone who loved you as well from your past, a parent or a grandparent, maybe someone who once loved you very much, or someone who is still in your life. It could be an angel or a spirit or a divine being, just so that you know it is someone or something that is good and wise and kind, with the ability to see from the heart into the truth of all things deeply and clearly. So you watch as this special someone or something becomes more and more defined until the three-dimensional image is clear in whatever characteristic posture they have, wearing whatever it is they wear. And you can softly and easily enter the screen, feeling yourself drawn to them, wanting to have a closer look, undetected by them. You slip into the screen, able to have a slow walk around them, seeing them from every angle, the expression on the face, the profile on the back, and sensing the feel of the air around them, the sounds of breathing or the voice, the scent in the air around them. So just slowly moving around, pleased to experience a full, rich sensory awareness of them. And now, in this magical, safe space, somehow, for just a short while, allowing ourselves to feel what it might be like to be inside this other person. Breathing their breath, just for a brief while. Allowing yourself to soften, experiencing peace for the sake of understanding more. Learning what you need to know. Breathing deeply into the other being and sensing the feelings, the calmness, the expansion around the heart, maybe a solid, steady sense of safety and security. Understanding how it feels to be inside the other body. And now seeing from their eyes what the world looks like, sounds like, feels like. As you breathe in their breath and feel their feelings. Perhaps even seeing you over there with these other eyes, looking over at you and seeing you who you really are. Looking under and around and through your surface to the essence of who you are, and seeing all the hidden splendor and the vast beauty of your very being. And perhaps seeing what you are here to do with all of your beauty, unique gifts, and your special abilities, appreciating what you were born to do. And just taking a moment to experience this with all the focus that you can bear. And now very softly and easily, when you're ready, wishing this body, this awareness goodbye, whatever feels right to you, and still infused with the richness of this experience, still feeling the expanded energy in your heart. Very gently moving back into your own body, re-inhabiting it fully. Breathing into your own being through your breath in your nose, your mouth. Connecting again to your body, your steadiness, your companion, and your oldest friend. And sliding out of the magical translucent screen. And once again seeing yourself in your safe and peaceful surroundings. Taking in its beauty and sights and sounds. And watching as the screen fades. And feeling yourself in a chair. Breathing very rhythmically and easily, gently, with soft eyes, allowing yourself to come back into the safe space and room. And when you're ready, and knowing in a deep peace that you're in a better place for this. And so you are. Thank you. We'd like to be able to give a big thanks to the healers, Laura Carter, Coquettes, and Jackie Garcia. Thank you so much for sharing your gifts of healing. On the next hymn, our next hymn will be on page 45, I Feel Like Traveling On. Thank you. You may be seated.
It's better that one.
Oh, well, we were operating under the gun earlier. I was wrong in gazebo, so I thought I had plenty of time. Didn't work out. You really flexible later. All right. I'd like to give a brief intro to our speaker today. Reverend Dr. Lewis Gates is the pastor of Colby Memorial Temple. He is a spiritual medium, healer, and teacher, and is a longtime resident of Casadega Spiritualist Camp. Let's give a warm welcome to Reverend Dr. Lewis Gates.
Good morning, everyone. I want to speak today about spiritualism, and I want to kind of go into some of the little bit of the history of spiritualism, because What spiritualism is a belief in the afterlife. It's a belief that we do continue on. Our belief in our vibration. It's why we attend the churches. It's why we attend spiritualist churches, because we believe in the continuity of life, that we do move from this plane of existence to the next. So, as a cornerstone of spiritualism, that is a core belief within our vibration, that we do believe in that. We've all heard the story about the Fox sisters and the peddler and the Fox cottage and all of that. But back in the day, there were a few other ones that played kind of a part in spiritualism. And it was Thomas Edison played a part in spiritualism back in the day, because when he was making the phonograph at that point, and he said Mary had a little lamb so people could hear his voice on the phonograph. He was trying to, at that point, told people that he was going to build a spirit box to speak to the spirit world. So Thomas Edison back in the day was working on a spirit box back then to speak to the spirit world. Mae West was another one that was part of that whole vibration, where she spent a lot of her time back in the day in Lilydale. The time when Mae West was very important on this earth plane. She got very sick, very ill. And she went to Lilydale to a well-known healer there in Lilydale and became healed. And she worked with a mediumship advisor, spiritual advisor from Lilydale for many, many years until her passing. So Mae West was part of the Lilydale vibration, our sister camp up north. Then Queen Victoria, at the time, she became traction in the United Kingdom around 1861, when it really started to build in the United Kingdom. And Queen Elizabeth got very intrigued. It was after her husband's death, of Albert dying, and a 13-year-old child, and a 13-year-old medium at that point brought through her husband and her dead child. So that was another point of spiritualism being brought forth. Then there's Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, which was a big part of this religion, because he didn't really believe in it at first. He tested it, he worked with it, and he got messages for a long period, and then his son died. And he got messages from his son, from the spirit world, from mediums. And he became an evident speaker for spiritualism around the world. And then we come into the vibration of finding our balance here in Casadega. Many years in Casadega, we've had a very strong mediums here working in this organization. A lot of teachers, a lot of mediums that are still here have been taught by a lot of the mediums now that have gone into the spirit world. When I first arrived here when I was younger, it was Wilbur Hall and a few of the other ones here that took me kind of under wing many, many moons ago. But Wilbur Hall would stand, I would say, he would sit up at his house, and if you knew Wilbur, he would give you messages, he would give you numbers. People would drive Chunky Street be full of cars, people heading to highlight. And Wilbur would stand out there and give them numbers. He would charge him anything for the numbers, but if they did win at highlight, they needed to come back and give him some. But he would give people numbers, and people would go bet at highlight. Mary Rossi up on the hill, she lived in Patty Ross, where Patty Aubrey lives now. She was an extremely talented trance medium, which she would go into full trance, and spirit would speak through her. And when I first saw that, it kind of scared me because of this. Her mouth wasn't moving, it was just spirit speaking through her. And that was the first experience with trance that I had here in the organization, was with Mary Rossi. Then my buddy was Julia Slater. And she is a Slater house up on the hill. But we used to sit with Julia in her house, and she used to sit there and pick seeds. And she would spend hours picking seeds and planting wildflowers in her front yard. And Julia would cut the wildflowers and bring them down to the church, because she thought that the flowers from her yard brought life into the organization. So we had that. We had Phoebe Rose Bergen, which is a major worker in this organization for many, many years, extremely talented medium. And we had Helen Hansen. I don't know if people remember Helen. Helen would come up on a platform, and she was very serious with her mediumship, very serious. Serious business for Helen. she was up here. She's a lot different than James Buchanan. James Buchanan was a little flamboyant. He was a mixture between Liberace and Astaire. That's what he was. And he would yell to the audience and goes, "Who wants a reading?" And everybody would raise their hand. And I remember Jimmy coming up here and saying, "I serve the needy, not the greedy." And that would be his saying back to the people who wanted a reading. So I spent a lot of time working with him and a lot of other mediums here, honing my mediumship. But the one who taught me the most wasn't really I think she was a member here at one point, was Reverend Virginia Hutchinson. And she was one of my major teachers that I had in my life when I was here, because she taught me how to read, and she would take me to different places that she would go. At that point in time, and couple of people here remember the Dome. We would run to the Dome, and we would do readings, and we'd do work at the Dome up at Flag Beach. But I would go to the around, she would teach me how to do readings. So a lot of the individuals that were here in this organization were down and heart spiritualists. Truly, absolutely believed in religion, in this religion that we have. The connection from the spirit world to the other world. When I first came here, when I moved into this place, that's when I was coming for a long time before I moved here, bought a house, everyone would tell me, "Don't talk to Gene and Nick. Don't go down there." That was the first people we went to go see. They told us not to go. But Gene and Nick had worked together as husband and wife, working in this organization and bringing forth spirit. A lot of Native American energy. Native American Park is right across from their home up on the hill. They wanted that park to celebrate Native American history. A lot of the names of the streets here are actually named after people in the spiritualist movement, except for a couple that are actually named for people that lived next to the camp because they ran out of names. So Webster is not part of the spiritualist situation. It's actually named after a person here that used to live next to the organization. So a lot of the history of the camp actually comes from our founders, people who actually worked here over the years. People that were here and now have gone to the spirit world, are now watching over us as the keepers of the organization. They watch us. They help and encourage as we do. And one of the ones that I knew years before was Jim Watson, Reverend Jim Watson. Jim would always had a funny thing to say every time he would see me or Marie, and he would talk and we used to do physical phenomena with him here in the seance room and at different places with him. Now I remember the time we went to a place and it was Jim and Jerry Frederick and Nick and a few others, and they had this table about as long as those pews. And this table was heavy as it must have weighed 400 or 500 pounds. And everybody got to the end of the table and said, "I think we can move this." And sure enough, we got the table to move. Sure enough, we got it to move, that great big table to move in the vibration and do table tipping. That was a lot of the instructions I got here in doing different things, how to do it in a spiritual way, a spiritualist way. I was trained my whole life and doing all types of readings in my life. Through my mother, my brother, uncles, and aunts in my life. One of the coolest things that I did in my life was my mother used to take little bottles about this big, had corks on them. And what she would do is give you a little pot. And she would tell you to write down the blessings that you would want in your life. And she'd have a circle of people write the blessings down. And you would set fire to the blessing and put it in a pot. And when you did, you would catch the smoke in the bottle and cork it. And each bottle had different names. You would write different names in the bottles. So that when you felt a need in your life to have a blessing, or love, or support, or whatever you needed, you would pop the cork off the bottle. It caught the blessing in the bottle. And that was one of the coolest ceremonies I did with my grandmother and my mother, was catching the essence of what you burnt. And it was one of the ones I learned from them. The medicine bag workshops that I do, learning how to set your own medicine bag, a spiritual way of doing it, a spiritual way of connecting to your higher sense of consciousness. It's always been part of my life since I remember as a kid, sitting in the corner of the room, writing down as the table bounced so many times, writing down the number, I'm writing down the alphabetical number to that number that bounced 3 times. That was a C, and I would C down, and I would keep track. And then Spirit said, "Out then and us from Spirit world." And I spent a lot of my time when I was young in table tipping seances, working in that direction. But everything with Spirit has a meaning. It has a connection to our higher sense of consciousness. Because we're all made differently. We're all connected to a different sense of who we are, of how we affect the earth plane, how we affect Spirit. We're not like everyone else. We wouldn't be like everyone else because we would be all the same. We're like ourselves. We have to relate to accept us as we are. We're all broken people. Some of you have run out of glue and you're looking for us to look for extra glue. Because some of us are just broken. We've had things happen in our lives, and we are who we are. There's no reason for us to say, beat ourselves up because we've done something or put something in our life that caused us to go off balance for a little while. Maybe that journey was never yours. Maybe that journey was to affect others. So we always have to look at it a different view of how Spirit looks at it. How Spirit looks at what happens in our lives. We lose children, we lose parents, we lose people in our lives. But there is a reason that they left at that time. There's a reason why situations happen in our lives. We don't see it, but we get that idea when we get to the spirit world. Spirit goes, aha, this is why that happened. This is why it happened in our lives. We beat ourselves up too much. We beat ourselves to pieces trying to figure out why that happened, why that did in our lives. That's why grandmother would have those circles, and we'd have all these little bottles, and people would put the blessings in the bottle, cork them, and they would take them home with them. And when they needed some blessings or love, they would pop the cork off the bottle and allow the blessing to radiate within their being. That's why I do the ember readings, allow you to rake the embers, to allow you to see Spirit within the fire. There's so much that we do as spiritualists to connect to Spirit. There's not one way to the spirit world. That's why we in our spiritualist church, there's not one direction, one way, one road we must walk down to get there. We all have our own little road to get to Spirit. We all have our own little connection of how we're going to arrive. And you have to ask yourself, how do you want to arrive? How? You beat yourself up. I laugh because I told Marie the other day, we were out our house, and this lizard was there. It had 2 legs, it had half a body, the head, the cats had gotten to it. It was still alive. And Marie said, go get the shovel. Hit it in the head. And I thought to myself, that's like life, you know. You get a little tattered, you get a little torn, and people just want to hit you in the head. Take you out. So I gently placed the lizard over the bushes. She said, well, it's probably going to die. I said, well, it probably might live. You never know. Because sometimes we have these situations happen in our lives. We think like, oh my God, that's terrible. That's awful. But we don't look at what doors are opening ahead of us, in front of us, from where we are. What door opened in front of you? Because one door shut. One door closed itself. What door opened? To show you something else. I've been in spiritualism my whole life. I'm one of, like Virginia Hudson, Reverend Virginia Hudson was born into this religion. I was born into this vibration. I'm a born spiritualist, but other ideas, I'm a family member from the other situations, other religions. But spiritualism kind of cold in my life. Through things, for instance, as a medium and as a healer and a teacher. When my father died and I had him cremated in, I went to a trumpet seance and his wedding ring came out of the trumpet and dropped in my hand after I cremated. I've seen my mother around dropping things. I've seen her move through the house and just sit there and stare at me and ask me. And I always say, what do you want? And people get afraid to ask Spirit, what do you want? Spirit's there for a reason. They should talk to you. Talk to them. Convey to them. They want to speak to you. That's the reason they showed up. That's why they showed up in your vibration. A lot of us don't look for synchronicity in our life. We don't look for it. By looking for synchronicity, we allow ourselves to see what Spirit really wants. Sometimes they're trying to tell us to slow down. They're trying to tell us to stop. They're trying to tell us to be this vibration. But then all of a sudden, we don't look. We don't watch what's going on. How Spirit's trying to tell us to slow down, relax. I had a lady said, you're just going to have to slow down, dear. You got to slow down if you're going to meet your future husband, you got to slow down. She just kept running. She had a car accident not too far from Casadega. She ended up in the hospital over here. Where's your new husband? He works at the hospital. Huh. Spirit had a way of getting her there. You have to figure out, do you want to get there easily, or do you want to get there pulled behind a wagon? It's our choice within our lives of how we arrive. Sometimes we take the rough road, the tough road in our lives, trying to figure out how we're going to make it happen. As spiritualists, mediums, and healers, we don't make anything happen. We just allow ourselves to be the channel from Spirit. Allow them to work through us. Somebody asked me in the healing class yesterday, where do I direct the energy? Can I direct it to one spot? I said, no. You direct the energy to the whole body. Spiritual, mental, and physical. And allow the energy to go to where it needs to go. As mediums, we allow the energy to move through us as a clear channel, trying to give you the best information that we personally can from the spirit world. But it always comes down to, you get pictures, you get this, you get that, you get this, you get that. And out of all these symbols, we've got to try to make a rational reading for you. Rational. Got to make it sound good. My mother used to say back in the day, was tell a story. Tell a story. Be able to tell a story. Weave it all together like a basket and tell a story. Bring you along the journey, along with the person on the journey. If I lose you on the journey, well, I'm not going to get you back. Mother used to always say there's two types of mediums. Two types. The tour guide. Get you on the plane, get your luggage there, get you in the best hotel, make sure you're well taken care of, and get you back home safely. Then there's the other one that's lost your luggage. The plane goes down over the jungle. You're lost and taken hostage for a little while. Then eventually you make it back to civilization, but it's a few years. So it's a question is sometimes we take all this information in our lives, we go, oh, when I always explain to people, does it make sense to you? Does it make rational sense? If somebody told you something about a spiritual vibration, does it make sense to you? Does it radiate to you? Not everything in the world is going to radiate to everybody the exactly same way. Not the same way. Something else would radiate to you. What's going to radiate to your vibration? What makes you excited about your spirituality? What excites you about what you're doing today? Are you moving every time you feel lost? Don't beat yourself if you haven't got there. My membership classes, people say, oh my God, I'm not as good as they are, but they've been coming here for a while. You're probably not. Don't beat yourself up if you can't read like someone else. Read like you. Read how you propel the message. Follow your course in your life. Don't take classes to be like someone else. Take classes to be you. Don't filter off into the vibration. I've always thought in my life that I've been here for many, many years. I've become a fixture. Back in the day, I think Jerry, Reverend Jerry, me, Donna Bohr, back in the day, we were the young'uns. We were the young'uns, you know. We were the fresh kids. Why the rush? Why you're still young? Why you're trying to rush it? Now we're the old timers. Now we're getting up a little bit. But we have all the younger ones coming in, trying to understand spirit. And I always explain, try to tell people what you feel for you, what works for you, and allow them to take pieces of whatever you're teaching them and try to make themselves their vibration, their by connection to spirit. Because my connection's through a lot of stuff. I don't really actually have all this stuff that runs in my head, but I can do all types of readings. But it doesn't matter that I'm here in the camp. I do spiritualist readings. But still, all the history that I have through all the readings and all the vibrations in my life still feed within my brain. When I do healing in the back, even though I'm licensed through quite a few modalities of healing, I still do spiritualist healing, but in the way I do it, how it works for me. So don't be forced in your spirituality in your life. Don't find, like all those, I've got to find this path and follow that path, because that's where the other ones are. The ones who make the best difference in this religion is the ones who grab the machete and head off on a course of their own. Hopefully the other people will follow you. Hopefully you're not too crazy and they've just said, thank God they're gone. Just so head off on your own path, your own direction. Take whatever supplies you need and move in that direction. Because when Lolly Weigel was here, Reverend Lolly, and I thought it was cute. I'd known Lolly for years, long before Lolly became here in a camp, or she went into the hotel. I knew Lolly. And Lolly looked at me one day when I come out here at my white beret. Lolly hugs me and puts her face next to me, and right next to my ear she goes, I love you, Lou, but who's she? I said, now, Lolly, be nice to my wife. Ooh. And Marie knew at that moment, Lolly didn't quite connect to her at the beginning. Marie kind of wore on Lolly. Lolly didn't think she was good enough for me. But Lolly was cute. She was a psychometrist. She would feel the energy. She would use psychometry to find things, to help you, to encourage you. She would always answer the phone, Reverend Lolly Weigel, psychometrist. So she was a psychometrist, and she would work with the feeling of objects. We had people do handwriting analysis out here. We have people do all types of readings out here in this organization through the years, through the times that we've been here. But remember, when you're learning what you're learning in your life, make sure that you have a constant effort of understanding what it is. Does it work for you? Does it fit for you? There's probably hundreds of books on those shelves in that bookstore. Not all the books you need in your library. Not all of them. Take what you need from the books. I tell people, read what books you need, take what you need from it, and put the books out to the street, and let somebody else take whatever's left in the books on their journey where they're going. Don't hoard all the books and think you're going to learn all. Learn what you need to do from the books. But a lot of people don't start at the front page and read through the book. They try to read at the back page and read backwards, instead of starting at the front of the journey. So when you leave here today, start at the beginning of your journey, not at the end of it. We're all not at the end of our journey because we're still going to be here for a while. All of you here today are just starting your journey. You're just starting. Today's a whole new day. Start your journey. Create your existence. Create your vibration for you. And as a spiritualist, hopefully this organization and this church and what we do here helps you on your journey, encourages you, gives you a few tidbits to help you manage that journey in your life. And we're hoping for that as a spiritualist organization, that we have some kind of movement within your life to get you to your spiritual journey that rewards others and encourages others on their path. And every once in a while, pull out your machete, chop a few weeds down, venture off to the woods. I want to thank you.
Thank you for those words of inspiration and wisdom. All right. During our musical interlude, we pass it. We thank you in advance for your generosity. The musical interlude will be provided by our musician, Rebecca Coquette. Extraordinary Coquette. Now I'd like to share some announcements. Next Wednesday, May 18th, the message bearer for our demonstration of spirit service will be Robin Magino. Next Sunday, May 22nd, speaker is Jeremy McDonald. Sunday, Lyceum speaker, Eileen Ballantyne. And every Sunday we have Lyceum, also known as Sunday School, from 9:30 a.m. to 10:15 a.m. in Kobe Memorial Temple. To participate in absentee healing, please print the name, name and first initial of the last name of a loved one or friend or even pet in our healing book at the left corner of Kobe Temple. Flyers for camp events are located at the back of the temple. We have an activities calendar and a church bulletin and your hymnal for you to take home or to give to a friend. Let's see up here, but it should have your hymnal. We have storytelling alchemy Jeremy McDonald workshop Saturday, May the 21st at 11 a.m. It's a little bit about that. Everybody is talking to us all the time because they can do it around Saturday 1st and the address and so. Our website also has some monthly information as well as spring events. Our next hymn is going to be on page 159. Stand as you're able to open mine eyes that I may see.
You all know this one. This is a recording of.
All right, we gotta pick it up. Wow.
Open my eyes that I may see. This is the truth thou hast for me. Place my hands in that wonderful deed that shall unclasp and set me free. Silently now I wait for thee. Pray my God, thy will to see. Open my eyes, illumine me. Spirit divine. Open my ears that I may hear. Voices of truth thou singest here. And while the wind that fall on my ear, every thought will disappear. Silently now I wait for thee. Pray my God, thy will to see. Open my ears, illumine me. Spirit divine. Open my mouth and let me bear. Gladly my warmth is everywhere. Open my heart and let me prepare. Love my children to share. Silently now I wait for thee. Pray my God, thy will to see. Open my heart, illumine me. Spirit divine.
All right, you may be seated. Thank you all. All right. Now, we would like to welcome our message for our forum. Let's give a warm welcome to the Reverend Lewis.
I don't really look what you've done, but I say your house and look all over the place for somebody else in a great blouse. I'm the coach, the lady right here with the glasses hooked right in your blouse, dear. You know, dear, the first thing, your vibration, I felt a woman spirit with you. And I felt this woman would have been somebody that's very much connected to you on this earth plane. She was very sick, very ill, she says. Wasn't herself. She didn't like not being herself, she says. But she stepped up here very close to the vibration with you, and she actually brought this little girl with her, this child with her, as she walked up next to you. I think in your life, dear, you need to have more fun. You need to enjoy yourself more. I feel you take things a little bit too seriously, Spirit says. So I mean the child is here to be both a joy guide and connecting to you and that vibration for you. You're very ungrounded, but that gives you a pretty good view of the path around you. You're a little tiny bit, I'm going to say, just a little tiny bit stubborn. Just a tad. But I feel like you need to know where you're going before you go. You want to know the roadmap. Tell me the roadmap and I'll go. Just let me look at it for a moment. So take your time, dear, but I do think you're going to be having some fun. In spite of yourself. I leave that with God's blessings. I'm going to come right over here and I'll go to my buddy Donna. Donna, first of all, your vibration, I felt this young man with you, and I felt him in the spirit world. I do feel like he has some kind of connection to family, but I do feel like him standing directly behind you, wanting to sit there with you. And I don't feel like he was totally expecting to pass. I don't feel that with him. But I do feel like him stepping in very close on the vibration with you, just giving you a large hug. Because I feel there was a connection between you and him here on this earth plane. I also feel a woman in spirit with you, but I feel like I don't feel like you butted heads every once in a while, but I feel like you all didn't see the same roadway. That's what I feel. And I feel like she was who she was. They broke the mold. They're very adamant with that. They broke the mold with her. But I do feel like her stepping in very close to you and around vibration with you. You have a lot of people helping you, and I do feel like you have this whole vibration in your life that you're getting ready to re-envision who Donna is. Kind of putting things up on the board. It's like put a little pen in it, putting things on a shelf, let me just look at it for a while and I'll decide exactly what I want to do. But I don't feel like you want to repeat the last cycle in your life. I feel like let's do something new. Let's get something done new. And Spirit can make that happen for you, and I leave that with God's blessings. I'm going to go to you, dear, right here. You know, I always kind of feel that you need to teach or instruct in your life. You need to find something that you can really get your vibration into. I don't know what's going on with career choices and situations in your life. I feel like you're a little exhausted with that. You're okay with it, just a little exhausted. And I feel like Spirit wants you to say, what do you want to do now? I keep hearing this woman in Spirit saying, what do you want to do now, dear? So I feel like you're going to have opportunities abounding in your life here, especially within the next 3 to 4 months. Check them out, see which one works for you, and then move in that direction. I feel it's not the career, the choice, or situation you pick there. It's more the people that come and affect in your life. You're getting to where the people are. My mother used to say you don't want to marry for money, but it doesn't hurt the court where it is. So I just feel you're going where the stuff is that you absolutely need for you in this lifetime. You're being introduced to the people, the situation, through choices and situations in your life. That's going to take you to where you need to be. And I leave that with God's blessing. I got a shirt. You know the gentleman with you. Boy, he loves you to death, dear. He loves you to death. He misses conversations, he says. He just has this strong vibration with you. Misses that walking with you, talking with you, dear. But he says, I'm still there. I still watch you. I don't think he's like some kind of stalker, but likes watching you. Likes watching. Likes seeing where you are, seeing what you're doing, dear. There's also, he met a young man on the spirit side of life. He wanted you to know that. There's somebody connected to family. He met a young man on the spirit side of life, he says. And he's absolutely very close and I'm with you. I think right now, I feel like I don't want to have to take care of my health, but I feel like I have to look after it. Do what you need to do for your health, dear. Don't listen to other people. Listen to yourself. Other people will feed you down the path, dear. The lady next to you is okay. She's a little crazy. She's not so crazy. She's crazy. But there's some people that you have to figure out, no, I want to do it this way. Do it the way you feel is best for you. It'll work the best for you, dear. I'll leave that God's blessings. I'll do another one. I'll come lady with the suit coat on. You're sitting right at the end. You know the first thing of your vibration, dear. I felt a lot of angelic presence with you, a lot of angelic presence in your auric field. I feel like a lady in spirit would have sent these angels. She would have sent them. I don't feel like she truly believed, but I felt this woman would have probably had a statue of the Archangel Michael or prayed to Saint Christopher. She would have been very much into angelic and blessings and saints and different things in her life. Boy, she sent them there to protect you. I don't think you need that much protection, but you think just in case. Just in case. Because I feel like you're kind of you're a worker, dear. You're a person that will get in and do everything, and everybody else will go play. I don't feel like you've been on recess for a while. Like, well, I gotta work, I gotta do this stuff. So I feel like you're doing what you need to do to help others. But a lot of the things in your life right now are not a life lesson or a life challenge for you. It's more of a life lesson or a challenge for other individuals around you, dear. This will come to some kind of close or situation in your life right around the month of August. Then figure out where you are there. You circle the 10th to the 14th of August. See where you are at that point in life. Then figure out where you want to go from there. Right down, coast, take a break, put your feet out the window, have a drink, relax. Have fun. But when you get to August, figure out what direction you're heading into, and that should work extremely well for you. I'll leave that with God's blessings. We're good?
Thank you, everyone, that we will be having our afternoon message service. And this time again, 12:30 p.m. in Hall, Red Street. For those who are not familiar, building on left at the end. A group of mediums and pseudo mediums will be giving spirit readings to as many individuals as they can reach during that hour. Everyone's welcome. We hope you'll join. We encourage you to our store today, 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, and 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. on. At this time, joining us today. We look forward to spending time with you again, and we hope you have a wonderful week. Please